In this video, we'll walk you through how to create a powerful workflow in Zapier that interacts with the MainWP dashboard using the REST API version 2. Zapier is a web-based automation tool that connects apps and services, allowing users to create workflows, or zaps, that automate repetitive tasks without needing to write code. The MainWP REST API allows you to programmatically interact with your MainWP dashboard, giving you the ability to manage your WordPress sites efficiently. REST API version 2 brings simplified third-party authentication, provides a more robust experience with improved endpoints, adds batch calls and additional parameters for greater flexibility and control. Today, we'll create a workflow that checks for any disconnected sites in your MainWP dashboard. If any sites are found disconnected, we'll attempt to reconnect them. If the reconnection fails, we'll do two things: send an email notification and create a task in Google Tasks. Zapier has thousands of app integrations, allowing you an almost endless number of automation options when you pair it with the MainWP REST API version 2. Before we get going, it should be noted that in order to utilize many of the features of Zapier, you will need to have one of their premium subscriptions. To get started, log into your Zapier.com account. Click on the Create button, select New Zap. Your new Zap will be named Untitled Zap by default. Click on the name at the top and select Rename. Give your new Zap a name. Next, select the first step where it says Trigger. A list of the integrations will pop up in a modal. Select Schedule by Zapier. Select the frequency of the trigger for your Zap. Click Continue. Set your time offsets if you would like something other than the default. Click Continue. Click the Test Trigger button. You should see a message stating that a record was pulled, and the test step should now have a green check mark next to it. Click Continue with selected record. In the Action modal, select Webhooks by Zapier. Then select Get on the Action Event dropdown. Click Continue. For this example, we're using a call that fetches information about all sites, but with the disconnected parameter. In the URL field, enter the full URL of the API call. Scroll down to the header section. In the first field, enter the word authorization, and in the right field, enter the word bearer, followed by your API token, which you should have created in the REST API section of your MainWP dashboard. Please note that both the words authorization and bearer only have the first letter capitalized. Click Continue. Now, click Test Step. If successful, you should see a green check mark next to the word Test. Scrolling down, the data status will show disconnected. Next, in the main window, click on the plus button to add a step. Since we only wish to have notices sent if there are disconnected sites, we will select Filter by Zapier. In the Only Continue If conditional, select Get from the first dropdown. Do a search for Total and select it. Now choose Number Greater Than, and in the third field, enter the number 0. Click Continue. You will see a message that states that the Zap will continue because there is a site that meets the criteria from the previous step. Click Continue. Because the previous step was a filter, it will now automatically bring up a list of actions. Select Webhooks by Zapier. For the Action Event dropdown, select Custom Request, then click Continue. For the method, select Post. For the URL, enter the same URL as the GET action, but replace the endpoint with the /reconnect/ endpoint as shown here. Set the data pass-through to True. Scroll down to the header section and, just as you did in the Get action, enter Authorization in the first field along with Bearer in the second, then a space, and your API token. Click Continue. Click on the Test Step button. A successful test will result in a green check mark next to the word Test. Click on the plus key to add another step. Select Filter by Zapier in the List of Actions modal. In the first conditional dropdown, select Custom Request. Then, in the search field, type Data Status and select it. In the second dropdown, select Text Contains, and in the third, type in the word Disconnected in all lowercase. Click Continue. If you have any disconnected sites, you will receive a message that states that the workflow would have continued. Click Continue. Again, a list of actions will pop up. Since in this demonstration we are choosing to have a task created and added to Google Tasks, select Google Tasks from the modal. Select Create Task from the Action Event drop-down list of options. Select or add your Google account. Click Continue. Select your task list. Enter a title and any notes you would like added to the task. Either leave the due on blank or set a date. You can also enter non-specifics. For instance, in this case, we are simply saying today. Click Continue. You can now test this step, and once complete, look for that green check mark next to the word test at the top. A quick look at our Google Tasks shows that a Reconnect site task has been added. Now it's time to add a Gmail notification. Start by clicking the plus sign. Select Gmail, select Send Email. Assuming your Gmail account is the same as your Tasks account, you should be able to simply select the account here. Click Continue. Enter the email address to which you'd like to receive notifications. Select a From address from the modal. Enter a From name. Enter a Reply To address. Enter your subject and add any information you'd like to the body of the email. Lastly, select the mailbox in which you'd like the notification stored. Click Continue. Test the step and look for that familiar green check mark. A quick check of email shows that the message was sent and everything works properly. With everything working as expected, click Publish. Your Zap will now run at its scheduled time. That's the workflow. And this is just scratching the surface of the automations you can set up with the MainWP REST API version 2 and Zapier. Thank you for watching. And if you found this video helpful, please be sure to like and subscribe for more updates from MainWP. We have lots of great video content, so don't forget to check out one of our other videos next.